Welcome back, True Seeker. It is June 18th, 2024. Big headline this evening. Willie Mays, considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time, dead at 93. And if you've read the article about his death, he was just interviewed yesterday about the Negro League tribute they're going to have for Juneteenth in Alabama at the Negro League field. And of course, this year, MLB for the first time recognized the Negro League stance. That was just announced a little more than a week ago. But again, Willie Mays in the interview yesterday, he didn't indicate that he was on his deathbed. He said he wasn't going to attend the game, but he was going to watch from his home. And then, boom, the very next day, he's dead. And it reminds me a little bit of Franco Harris the other year for the Steelers. Franco Harris was making the rounds on TV about the immaculate reception because later that week, the Steelers and the Raiders were going to play, and they were going to have Franco Harris on the field to honor that moment. But then he just dropped dead the next day after doing all those interviews. And of course, we covered that then. But yeah, for anyone who thinks this was a natural passing, let's take a look. Willie Mays, one of the most famous number 24s in history. And he just happens to be dead in 2024, exactly 24 days after his MLB debut anniversary. Again, baseball reference is handy for these things. Willie Mays made his MLB debut on May 25th, 1951. And that means today, June 18th, is 24 days later. And then, of course, June 18th, there's kind of a 24 connection there, isn't there? 6 plus 18 is another 24. And you can see, like Hank Aaron, Willie Mays retired at 42. The number stamped all over Black history, especially in sports. And one of the most notable 42s of all time is Jackie. And remember, Jackie Robinson lost his son at age 24, the reflection of 42. But this Negro League game that they're going to have, the two teams are named after Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. And again, tomorrow's Juneteenth. And the other thing that stands out about this, tomorrow will be the fourth Juneteenth as a federal holiday. They first made it a federal holiday in 2021. So Juneteenth, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. This is the fourth one. And again, 4 is that number in the occult that's associated with death. So here's a massive death of a Black celebrity on the eve of Juneteenth, right before this big special baseball event in tribute to Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. Again, 2 Black men who were made to retire at age 42. And don't forget what they just did with Hank Aaron the other year. They offed him by the code, and then the Braves won the World Series. And, that was one of many correct futures we've hit before the season even began. We've done it almost every year since I've been here with baseball. But, yeah, the other thing that stands out is Willie Mays' team. They got a symbolic loss tonight. We liked his team to lose tonight because, again, I've taught you guys about this with the NFL and the MLB many times with the Giants. You got a Giants in the NFL, you got a Giants in the MLB. Again, the Giants and the MLB are now in San Francisco, but they started in New York. But both teams just love the number 25. And the Cubs today, the starting pitcher they had in for him, he could have got his 25th career win. It was a good sign that his team would get the win, and they did. And notice the Giants lost 2-5, a bit like 25. But notice the Giants also got their 38th loss of the year. Willie Mays, a Giant. 38, again, the number of death. And 25 is a number of death as well. And funny enough, Giants has that gematria of 38 and 25. Again, if you're new here, gematria is the Kabbalistic practice coding numbers into words. For example, in the MLB this year, I actually didn't see it yesterday. Yesterday was a 97 thing with the Giants, and I missed it, but 97 is the 25th prime. Between 25 and 97 this year, 13-1. In Giants games. It's hit 13 times and lost in 1. That's called a winning percentage. But today it was in the Cubs' favor. You can see the gematria of Giants, 25-38. On the day they get their 38th loss, losing 2-5, you get the death of their most famous player of all time. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Death has that 38 and 25. You can also see it has the 97, the 25th prime. But hold on, let me put Giants back up here. You see how Giants is 70? Willie Mays had one of the most iconic plays in baseball in 1954 in the World Series, now 70 years ago. This season marks 70 years. And remember how last year they turned the bases to 18 inches? They made the bases a little bit larger to increase the odds of being safe on a steal. Because if you know baseball, a lot of plays are bang, bang, which means close, close. So they made the base a little bit longer so that when people are sliding in for the steal, their hands get there an instant faster. But they made the bases 18 inches, big number in baseball. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, very simple. It's based on the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with numerology. Notice how baseball is 54, like outs in a game. Baseball with numerology is 18, like how many half innings there are. Willie Mays has died exactly 18 weeks before the start of the World Series. The World Series begins October 22nd, 18 weeks from today. On the nose. Baseball, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, is 162, like how many games are in a season. And again, in reverse numerology also happens to equal 54. Again, the number of outs. And also 1954, the year of Willie Mays' iconic catch in the World Series. So, again, number 24, dead in 2024, 24 days after his MLB anniversary. And in light of him making his anniversary debut on May 25th, think about what happened recently that led to Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. Do you remember what happened? It was the killing of George Floyd on May 25th. It was Memorial Day, and that came out of the Civil War, which has a lot to do with race and slavery. And again, if you're new here in Gematria, slavery equals 42, like Tuskegee, like the N-word, like a million other things related to Black history, which is why they code 42 over and over on Black history. But again, after the George Floyd killing, you had the riots that led to the tearing down of the only Confederate statue in D.C. on June 19th, 2020. And then a year to the day later, it became Juneteenth, which relates to the freeing of the slaves. Him dying at 93, that's another number heavily related to Black history as well. Again, both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., neither of them their birth names, but they both have that Gematria 93. Both died at the Reflection, age 39. So it's a whole nother topic, but all these numbers about Willie Mays pertain to Black history, and that's what they're paying tribute to with this special event that he was invited to, but said he would not attend. And a part of me wonders, like, had he said he was going to attend, I mean, they probably still would have done the same thing. Would have been like what they did to Franco Harris. But yeah, here, let's just read the CNN. Oh, hold on. Something else jumped out at me. There it is right there. You see Obama putting the Presidential Medal of Freedom around Willie Mays' neck? They just had that image up there. Here, let's let it come around again. This slideshow of Willie. There's the catch in 54 right there. Right there. Obama putting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Remember, Obama took the White House at age 47. A huge number at the presidency. President, White House, government, authority, Republican, Democrat, D.C. They all have the Gematria 47. Want to guess how many days it is to Obama's birthday? For the record, Willie Mays equals 47 too. Here, we'll punch that in. But Willie Mays dead today. Obama's birthday, better known as Obama. August 4th, 2024. He's got the same birthday as, what's her name? Meghan Markle. 8-4. Very whole other story. Another very special number in this study, but dead 47 days before Obama's birthday. And I honestly wasn't even thinking about that until I saw the CNN front page with that up there. But there it is, Willie Mays, 47. And you see how Willie Mays also has the 61 in his name. Again, that's the 18th prime number, dead exactly 18 weeks before the World Series begins on October 22nd. Baseball 18. Roger Maris hit 61 home runs and 61 for the record at the time. And of course, 18 is huge right now with the focus with the Celtics eclipsing the mark at 18. And that was another game that one of the easiest calls today in the MLB is you can just ride waves in rig sports. But look at what Boston did to the Blue Jays today. Again, the day that Boston won the chip, they kept the Blue Jays on 18 home wins, and then the day after, of course, they're going to beat them again to drop them to 18 and 18 at home. That was a no-brainer. Blue Jays got the 38th loss like finals, and that might be something about why they did Willie Mays too, because Giants again has that 25 and 38. Today they got their 38th loss, losing 2-5. Again, it's 70 years since Willie Mays' catch, but finals is just like that with the 25 and 38, and of course the 61, the 18th prime. Just out of curiosity, I got to look at the Obama Willie Mays Presidential Medal of Freedom date. I want to see how long ago that was. Let's see. 2015. I might even have an old post up on when this happened. Willie Mays is from Alabama. Oh, by the way, we'll come back to this, but you know what Willie Mays' nickname is? The Say Hey Kid. The Say Hey Kid. Yeah, look it up. That's his nickname. The Say Hey Kid, 59. Like slave, like Negro, like blues, like Rasta, like what they just did to OJ 59 days after the Super Bowl. In the Ephesians 6, 5-9 tribute, slaves obey your masters as they announce them dead as the masters tease off. All right, hold on. Is November 24th the date they did it? Looks like everybody's got it November 24th. You know what's interesting about November 24th? That is the first of the last 38 days of the year. November 24th through December 31st, that's a total span of 38 days, like Giants 38, like Death 38, like DC on the 38th parallel north. So this year will mark the 9th anniversary of that moment. All right, but here's the CNN article. Isn't it crazy how they can just have everybody like, oh, look at the Justin Timberlake DWI, you guys. Aren't you glad you have the First Amendment and a media that's meant to keep you informed all day? All we talked about was Justin Timberlake's DWI. Isn't it so important? Isn't it amazing that people watch the TV for the news? Sometimes it's important. They got to know if they should wear their mask today. Should they get another jab today? It's like, who tunes into this crap? Don't you see it's nothing but crap and ritual and lies and propaganda and murder and deceit? Baseball icon Willie Mays, one of the game's most electrifying and complete players, has died at 93. Oh God, CNN. I gotta pay money to read CNN articles now? I'm sorry. That's not happening. Hold on. Let's do something. Is CNN out of their mind? Who do they think they are to charge for their articles? Nobody even goes to their website. I'm like one of the 10 people that pays attention to what they put out each day. And it's not because I like it. But hold on. Hold on. Let me switch this around here. I have to go to a different browser. Hold up. Okay. All right. Here's the article. Willie Mays, the dynamic baseball Hall of Famer who shined in all facets of the game and made a dramatic catch in the 1954 World Series, passed away Tuesday at the age of 93, the San Francisco Giants announced. Isn't it crazy how many times we talk about 38 and death, and right as the Giants are losing their game, pretty much the news breaks, right as they pick up the 38th loss of the year? It is with great sadness that we announce that San Francisco Giants legend and Hall of Famer Willie Mays passed away peacefully this afternoon at the age of 93, the team said. Known as the Say Hey Kid for the way he enthusiastically greeted others. Again, if you haven't read my first book, Letters and Numbers, teaches about how they always bring 59 and 42 together in Black history, like February equals 42, and it ends on the 59th day of the year, and Detroit's on the 42nd parallel, and Motown came out in 59. But the Say Hey Kid, 59, retires at 42 like Hank Aaron. And that the people who run these leagues made sure those rituals happened. Known as the Say Hey Kid for the way he enthusiastically greeted others, Mays was a five-tool player with the rare ability to hit for power and for average while also excelling at running, throwing, and fielding. In 23 major league seasons, mostly with the New York Giants and San Francisco Giants, he finished with 660 career home runs, then the second most behind legend Babe Ruth. Mays led the National League in home runs and steals in 4 seasons and in slugging 5 times. He hit over 310 times and had a career average of 301. The speedy center fielder also was as dominant in the field as he was at the plate, winning 12 Gold Gloves. We are heartbroken to learn of the passing of Hall of Famer Willie Mays, one of the most exciting all-around players in the history of our sport, Major League Baseball said on X. By the way, today was the 83rd day of the Giants season from when their season began on March 28th. If you're new here, the word death equals 38. So does the word murder, killing, and RIP. They all have the 38 connection. Run it the other way, RIP's 43, and Willie's dead 43 days after his birthday. But the word murder, it has the 38, and the big way murder also has the 83. And again, the song Murder by Numbers, where killing is the sport of the elected, and it's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. That song came out in 83. So 38, 83, and now Willie Mays. Mays inspired generations of players and fans as the game grew and truly earned its place as our national pastime. Again, Willie Mays is even way before my time, but even growing up as a kid, you just knew who Willie Mays was and how he made his famous basket catch like this. If you grew up playing baseball, you probably did things like you tried to replicate the Willie Mays catch. Anyway, MLB Commissioner Robert D. Manfred said in a release Tuesday, and yet his incredible achievements and statistics do not begin to describe the awe that came with watching Willie Mays dominate the game in every way imaginable. We will never forget this true giant on and off the field, Manfred said. In early June, after Major League Baseball integrated Negro League statistics into its record books and added 10 hits to Mays' career totals, he told CNN that it must be some kind of record for a 93-year-old. The hits came in 1948 when he was a teenager with the Negro American League's Birmingham Black Barons. I was still in high school, Mays recalled. Our school did not have a baseball team. I played football and basketball, but I loved baseball, so my dad let me play, but only if I stayed in school. He wanted me to graduate. I played with the team on weekends until school was out for the summer. I thought that was it. That was the top of the world, man. I was so proud to play with those guys, he said. Mays called his statistical accomplishment at age 93 amazing. Mays had just said he couldn't attend special game set for Thursday. Mays' death, and what's interesting about them not having the game on Juneteenth, tomorrow, June 19th, but having it on Thursday, June 20th, remember, that day is written 20/6 in the majority of the world. 206 is a special number because there's 206 bones in an adult human body, but in Jewish gematria, sacrifice is 206. I always bring it up with Seattle city I spent a lot of my adult life in. It's the 206 area code. There's so many 206 death rituals in that city. The most blatant one of all time was Kurt Cobain died, and then the new guy in Seattle became the most famous guy, Bill Gates, whose birthday was 206 days after Kurt Cobain's death. And don't forget, Kurt Cobain died in 94, and Seattle's the 94th city, and Kurt also died 94 days after Bill and Melinda got married on January 1st, 94. And then Bill's mom died in 94, and then his dad eventually died at age 94, and then Seattle Seahawks, the only Super Bowl they ever won was in the 94th season, and then Russell Wilson's grandpa died at 94, and last year we're out in Seattle before Game 1's played of their season, explain why Matt Stafford's about to pick up his 94th career win to start the season in Seattle. They're like, yeah, right, whatever. Okay, go waste your money on another rigged game and $20 beer. Don't come cry to me after the game. Anyway, Mays' death came just one day after he told the San Francisco Chronicle that he wouldn't be able to attend a major event planned for later this week. Major League Baseball is scheduled to commemorate Juneteenth and celebrate the Negro Leagues with a game Thursday at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, where the Black Barons played. MLB had long planned to honor Mays at the game, though he told the Chronicle on Monday that he couldn't make it to Birmingham and instead would watch his San Francisco Giants play the St. Louis Cardinals on TV. My heart will be, and keep in mind they're playing the Cardinals too. I mean, you can't get much more Catholic than Cardinals, and we know who's pulling the strings on these rituals. Who remembers the other year when it was one of the best rituals of all time because Tom Brady was supposed to play on Sunday Night Football, and they took Tom Brady out of Sunday Night Football at the last moment, and they put in the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. And earlier that day, Pope Francis has made history by nominating the first black cardinal in the history of the church in the United States in Chicago, and that's where the Cardinals, who play in Arizona now, are originally from. But we knew it was Lock City for the Cardinals to win that night. It's like, whoa, Tom Brady out of Sunday Night Football for the Cardinals on the day the Pope nominates the first black cardinal? Anyway, my heart will be with all of you who are honoring the Negro League ball players who should have always been remembered, including all my teammates on the Black Barons, Mays told the newspaper. In the wake of Mays' death, Thursday's game will also serve as a national remembrance of an American who will forever remain on the short list of the most impactful individuals our great game has ever known, Manfred said Tuesday. Mays passed away peacefully and among loved ones, his son Michael Mays said in a release from the Giants. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my broken heart for the unwavering love you have shown him over the years. You have been his life's blood, Michael Mays said. The catch. Mays was known in part for one of baseball's most memorable catches in Game 1 of the 54 World Series between the New York Giants and the Cleveland Indians at the Polo Grounds in New York. With runners on first and second in the 8th inning of a 2-2 game, Indians batter Vic Wertz hit a 425-foot drive to deep center field. Mays turned and sprinted back towards the wall, somehow catching the ball over his shoulder with his back to the plate. He then fired it back to the infield, preventing the runners from scoring. In those days, players regularly scored from second base after tagging up at that ballpark. The catch became the defining play of Mays' career and one of the most famous plays in baseball history. It probably is the most famous play in baseball history. I mean, what's more famous? Somebody tell me. The Boston Red Sox guy who let the ball go through his leg, the little dribbler at first base, like that wasn't part of a script. He's an MLB and he literally can't field a ball that any T-baller would have got. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe that's the most famous play, but not for any good reasons. But that's the same reason that when you look at pro sports, you're like, I remember seeing that play as a kid. I was like, how can you even be in Major League and make that error? I mean, I'm sorry, man. I could have been a 15-year-old drunk off my ass, and I still would have made that play all day. Anyway, I used to play a lot of baseball back at that age. New York won the game 5-2 in 10 innings and would go on to sweep the Indians to capture the World Series. That capped an impressive season for Mays as he won his first of 2 National League Most Valuable Player awards. The other came in 1965. In 1954, Mays led the league with a .345 batting average and 12 triples and smashed 41 homers while driving in 110 runs. But what perhaps is most extraordinary about the 1950 season was prior to it, he did not play baseball. Really? Mays spent most of the night. Oh, he was in the Army. I see. Like, what? What? Really? He just came out of nowhere? Was just that good at baseball? In light of his career with the Giants beginning in 51, Tuesday's named after Mars. Actually, I just thought about 2 things about him dying on a Tuesday named after Mars. One is that in Gematria, Mars equals 51. And then the other one is that Mars has a 47-year orbital cycle. And again, Willie Mays is 47, and CNN has up that picture of him and Obama. And he's dead 47 days before Obama's birthday. And again, these guys are Black history, right? Willie Mays. I mean, is Willie Mays the greatest player in baseball history? Arguably, he's close to the very top, if not the best. But I like this stat right here. He won Rookie of the Year in 51. He won the Rookie of the Year award and helped New York rally from a 13-game deficit to tie the Brooklyn Dodgers at the end of regular season. Brooklyn's one of those places that has the 41 Gematria, the 13th prime. In 1958, baseball's landscape changed dramatically as the Giants moved west to San Francisco. It was a new home, but the same outstanding level of play from Mays, who notched a career-high 347 batting average in his first season out west. 4 years later, Mays' 49 homers and 141 runs batted in helped the Giants return to the World Series, where they lost a 7-game thriller to the New York Yankees. Most people in the MLB bat about 100 points lower than that. So, yeah, you don't see guys with batting averages like that anymore. Mays would play in 24 All-Star games before retiring in 73 after 2 seasons with the New York Mets. And again, dead 24 days after his MLB anniversary. Dead in 24, war number 24, the reflection of 42, the age he retired at. He retired in 73, and now he's dead 73 years after 1951, when we know Sacrifice has the Gematria 73. They go on right there. His number 24 is retired by the San Francisco Giants. To a native San Franciscan, some things just go without question. It's foggy in the summer, cable cars go halfway to the stars, and Willie Mays is the best there ever was. San Francisco Mayor London Breed. God, her name is this. And don't forget how Ed Lee died by the numbers and she replaced him. Or maybe they had an interim person before she replaced him, but it wasn't long after. They did Ed Lee dirty. He was from the generation who faced segregation and racism, a generation that paved the way so that many of us could have the freedom to thrive, Breed continued. One of baseball's most exciting stars, says Mays Hall of Fame plaque. In 1979, Mays was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's 45 years ago now. Major League equals 45. 45 is the 9th triangular number. Baseball's a game of 9s. One of baseball's most colorful and exciting stars, excelled in all phases of the game, his plaque reads. That same year, he took a job as a greeter with a casino hotel. Baseball, which feared any connection with gambling, put him on a permanent suspension, but Mays was welcomed back into the game in 85 by Commissioner Peter Ueberroth, who said Mays belongs in baseball. It's interesting that, or actually, no, never mind. I was thinking about something else. On Mays National Baseball Hall of Fame page, former baseball player, manager, and coach Leo, how do you say his name? I don't remember this guy. DeRocher? I remember John Rocker. Leo DeRocher, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, said, if somebody came up and hit 450, stole 100 bases, and performed a miracle in the field every day, I'd still look you in the eye and say, Willie was better. In 2015, President Barack Obama bestowed Mays with the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. We have never seen an all-around five-tool player quite like Willie before, Obama said. Hold on. Obama's about to turn 63 years old, too. Major League Baseball is 63. So is racism. And we all know, again, Obama was born in 61, the year JFK took office. We know what happened to JFK in 63. JFK was number 35, but the 44th term president. Obama, number 44. I guess that's one other thing about Willie Mays. He died 43 days after his birthday, which is true. You could also say he died on the 44th day of his age. And remember, in a septenary and Chaldean gematria, which are related ciphers, African American equals 43 and 44. Obama was number 44, but the 43rd person to be president. From the land of Lincoln, Lincoln born on the 43rd day of the year. The Giants were playing the Cubs today, weren't they? In the land of Lincoln. Lincoln who freed the slaves. That game was in Chicago, was it not? Remember, we had the first Super Bowl between two black quarterbacks. On Lincoln's birthday. And of course, one of them was Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles, who play at Lincoln Financial Field. And that was the 103rd NFL season, and State Farm equals 103. And the State Farm guy, Mahomes, won the Super Bowl, coming into the game 10-3 in the playoffs. But yeah, that Giants game was in the land of Lincoln. It was not only did the Giants get the 38th loss, it was their 74th game of the year. Killing has that gematria of 38 and 74. Again, 3 of the first 5 presidents dead on 7-4. the 74th day of the year to remember the killing of Caesar. Last year, we were in San Francisco explaining what they did to Bob Lee, the ritual murder of Bob Lee on 4/4 in San Francisco after the FedNow or the Federal Reserve put out the memo on the Ides of March. They were going to begin certifying the FedNow system the first week of April. Ides of March, remember the killing of Caesar in 44 BC. Then on 4/4, Bob Lee gets stabbed to death like Caesar got stabbed to death. Obama went on. Willie also served our country and his quiet example while excelling on one of America's biggest stages helped carry forward the banner of civil rights. The statement continued, "It's because of giants like Willie that someone like me could even think about running for president." And again, now here he is, dead 47 days before Obama's birthday. When Obama took office at age 47 with the 47th Vice President, Joe Biden, who was in D.C. for 47 years before he became president himself, not to mention the year that Biden became senator-elect way back in 72. That was the year of the 47th U.S. presidential election. So Obama and Biden are just super 47, and now Willie Mays becomes part of that legacy. In 2017, Major League Baseball renamed the World Series Most Valuable Player Award after Mays. I didn't know that. Mays was more than just a baseball icon, California Governor Gavin Newsom said in a release Tuesday. I bet Gavin Newsom was there when they took out the Smash Mouth singer right before the Smash Mouth 49ers played their first game in Santa Clara. Remember that ritual sacrifice right before the season began? We said, Smash Mouth singer in Gavin Newsom's old Jesuit college grounds or stomping grounds in Santa Clara. They did the Smash Mouth singer dirty. And then the Niners made it all the way to the Super Bowl, but, the ritual sacrifices for the Chiefs were even bigger. Remember how the year before that, they killed Len Dawson on Kobe Bryant Day, and then the Super Bowl was Len Dawson's team versus Kobe Bryant's team, Chiefs versus Eagles. His impact extends far beyond baseball, Newsom said. And by the way, just going back to Len Dawson, he died on August 24th, 24 days before Mahomes' birthday, when Mahomes won his first Super Bowl at 24, a week after number 24, Kobe died. And then again this year, Mahomes gets the 24th playoff win for the Chiefs, winning the Super Bowl when Missouri's the 24th state to start 2024. And not to mention just the 24-42 thing, Chiefs became 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year when Missouri equals 42 in Gematria. And every quarterback to win a Super Bowl that's been black has had a major 42 ritual, 42-24, all throughout black sports history. Willie Mays just adds to the list. And in light of him dying on his 44th day of his age in this Negro League game that they're going to have, Negro League tribute game with the teams named after Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, don't forget, Hank Aaron wore 44 and got killed on 44 date numerology right before the baseball season began, right before the Braves won the 117th World Series. His impact extends far beyond baseball, Newsom said. He became an integral part of San Francisco's cultural fabric and a cherished member of our community. His legacy will forever be intertwined with the legacy of the city he loved. Gavin Newsom's birthday is October 10th. That's the day leaving 82 days left in the year. And today is... What is today? I cannot think right now. Hold on. Not enough sleep. Too many things going on today. Date, duration, calculator. Let's see it. Gavin Newsom, Slick Willie, 56 years old right now, born October 10th. Don't forget, Gavin Newsom equals 56 like Society of Jesus. Dead 114 days after Newsom's birthday, 3 months and 22 days. The problem with using this browser is I don't use it, so nothing's in my thing. I got to type it all the way out. The 114 is interesting because I associate that number with Revelation 114, the only physical description of Jesus in the Bible, which begins to describe somebody with darker complected skin and hair like wool. We do a lot of 114 stuff with old LeBron James, who's got the 42 114 connection. But yeah, I don't know if I'm overlooking something with that. I mean, it's also possible that they didn't sync it up with Gavin just because they made him part of the article. I just had to look. Or it's 114 days before his upcoming birthday. That means what? It's 252 days after his last. 36 weeks. IHS 36 Jesuits. That could be coincidental, but what's not coincidental is the 24s that they put all over this. I mean, they just made it Super 24, the day of the Giants' 38th loss. And for the person to come here and be like, how could they make sure that mean the whole season was scripted? Yeah, now you're getting it, buddy. Now you're getting what I'm saying. Yeah, the whole season's scripted. Remember how Mahomes' rookie season, the Royals went 58 and 104, and then in the 104th season, he's winning Super Bowl 58? You know what I mean? It's all scripted. I don't know if back in Willie Mays' time, if everything was as scripted as it is now, but I'll tell you what, every year of the NFL since the Super Bowl era has been scripted. That's undeniable. Willie Mays is pre-Super. Willie Mays played baseball into the Super Bowl era, but he started before that, 1951. So yeah, again, just quick recap, big takeaways. Number 24, dead in 2024, 24 days after the anniversary of his MLB debut. That was May 25th. He's dead right before this special tribute to the Negro Leagues, where the teams are named after him and Hank Aaron, who both died recently and highly. Actually, let's look at that too. Hank Aaron died. Let me see if I can remember to test my brain without having to look everything up on the internet. Hank Aaron died in February on the kill date, the year of the 117th World Series, which would have been 3 years ago. So he died February 21. I think February 21st, 2021 would have been the kill date. Let's see if that's what day he died. Did Hank Aaron die February 21st, 2021? Or shit, no, I'm wrong. It was January. He died the month before, but it was the kill date, January 22nd, 2021. That's when he died. That both days, February 21st and January 22nd, had the kill date numerology. And what the kill date is, there's 3 date numerologies: 44, 64, 28. The word kill equals 44, 64, 28. In Hank Aaron's case, he wore 44. And he played in Wisconsin and Georgia, the 2 44 states. He was also born in Alabama, like Willie Mays. He's born in Mobile, where one of the nation's 27 Jesuit universities is. Dead at 86. I just got to measure out of curiosity from the date that he died to the date that Willie Mays has died, since the teams in this game are named after these two men. Well, look at that. It's 177 weeks apart. And again, if you're new here, the Jesuit order, that's no doubt who is doing all of this. And they even had to have Jesuit scumbag Gavin Newsom get in on the action. The Jesuit order, 177. So 177 weeks. That you know what else they did with Hank Aaron? They killed him 9 days before Jackie Robinson's birthday anniversary. And again, baseball's a game of 9 innings. Hank Aaron died not because if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I'm not mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure Jackie Robinson's birthday is January 31st, the day before Black History Month begins. Yeah, and I almost forgot that Jackie Robinson died on the 24th of October. Again, his son died at age 24 as well. Remember they took out the Black Eagle. Took out the Black Eagle on Jackie Robinson's birthday. If you know Urban View on Sirius XM, the Black Eagle. His screener would never let me on their show. I've called into a lot of Urban View shows back in 2014, 2015, but the Black Eagle would never let me on. Here, if you guys if you don't know the Black Eagle, longtime radio commentator, but I just want you to see how dirty they did him on Jackie Robinson's birthday. I don't think this guy was a good person, though. This guy was a propagandist. But still, nobody deserves to get it done dirty. We were just talking about how it was the Giants' 74th game. 74 is a killing number. Joe Madison, that was the Black Eagle's name. Joe Madison, 105, dead on what would have been Jackie Robinson's 105th birthday. And what day is Jackie Robinson Day? It's April 15th, which is the 105th day of the year, except for when they have COVID, and then they move it to August 28th and kill the guy who played Jackie Robinson. Remember how they did that? They moved Jackie Robinson Day to August 28th, which is also Jack Kirby's birthday, who wrote the Black Panther, and Jackie Robinson was in World War II and in the tank brigade called the Black Panthers, and Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther, and he was Jackie Robinson, and he just happened to die that day as the Dodgers went on to win the scripted World Series after Mookie Betts joined the Dodgers on February 4th. What's that? Rosa Parks' birthday. A date can be written 2-4 or 4-2. Joe Madison had that 42 in his name as well, to die on Jackie's birthday. I know we left a nice long message over there. We never got any calls back. I said I'd take his spot as the albino eagle. Yeah, I think we could have boosted the ratings. Gematria deserves a network on Sirius XM. I mean, you can do Gematria coverage around the clock, everything going on in this world. Yeah, Joe Madison. See all the 42s, you guys? Joe Madison. Joe Madison's 42. You run it the other way. The surname alone's Madison, like slavery, like Tuskegee, like Jackie, like Martin, like Malcolm X, and the list goes on. Huxtable, Cosby Show, on and on and on. And Martin Lawrence better watch out. Martin Lawrence turned 59 this year. Oh, no, man. Martin Lawrence death, they'll sell even more Bad Boys DVDs after it's out of the theater. Have to go back and look at what the anniversary dates are for the Martin Lawrence show, because I am a little bit concerned for Martin there at age 59. I mean, didn't they try to kill him already like 20 years ago? His story about running down the street naked, saying they're trying to kill him, and then people thought he lost his mind. Something tells me he might have escaped death that day. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad. You know, people are like, well, he's 93. Yeah, he might have lived to be 103. He was talking about how he's looking forward to the game just yesterday. Here, just because this reminds me of the Franco Harris thing. Again, that Franco Harris thing was just super blatant. He wasn't as old. He was on TV. He was all over the place talking about what they're going to do that coming weekend for the Steelers-Raiders game, paying tribute to the Immaculate Reception. And yeah, Franco Harris. Again, the Steelers are run by Jesuits. The Rooney family are Jesuits. Drafted in 72, dead at 72, Jesuit Order 72, the first Jesuit Pope on the 72nd day of the year. It was the 103rd NFL season, and Franco Harris died 103 days after the season began. You might recall there were a series of deaths in this proximity of time, and all the guys who died were NFL veterans, all with the 103 connection. It was like within 3 days, there were 3 NFL deaths, all 103. Franco Harris is one of them. Again, Steelers 103 like State Farm, and that year the State Farm boy won it in State Farm Stadium, and the NFL fans didn't blink. They were selling out the stadiums next year. waiting for their team to win it. Again, it's like, why do you care if your team wins it when it's all scripted? How stupid. Is anyone on your team even from your city? How many guys have a player from your city that's actually on your team? Almost nobody. How many players on the team think they care one shit about you? I guarantee none of them. If they cared about you, they'd come out and tell you how rigged it was. Some of them have come out and told you how rigged it was. When Brady was in that Super Bowl in Tampa, a former player for the Bucks came out and said the whole thing was rigged. That running back came out around that time too, Benny Cunningham, and said it was all rigged. I need everybody in the league to tell me it's rigged, otherwise it's not. You can't just watch it yourself. Don't you have a brain? Can't you see it's rigged? Celtics 18th championship, win game 1 and game 5 by 18. Jerry West dead in the most 18 ritual there ever was. This is, oh my God, man, it's sick. For the record, just with regards to the Jesuits, the Sun Cult, now they set up like everything, our language, our calendar. Christmas Day is the 359th day of the year. That's the 72nd prime, and it's all about the sun. They began worshiping the sun on that day before they began worshiping Jesus, the Son of God, on that day. But remember, the sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. But yeah, it's just similar. He was supposed to be at a big anniversary event. He was looking fine. He was in the media, and then boom, just dead. See how they encode the 112 in Immaculate Reception and Conception, and the 86 as well. But the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Jesuits got that 86 and 103 connection, which goes with what they just did to Jerry West. The logo. He died on a date with 74 numerology. It's funny how just the same numbers come up over and over and over because it's the Society of Jesus, a killing cult doing it. He died 77 days before his upcoming birthday. Did Franco Harris. Franco Harris, 77 like Christ. Again, it was close to Christmas. Football on Sundays. Stephen A. said it was just a big coincidence, like when his mom died the day of game 1 of the finals. Franco had 93 losses in his career as at number 2. Okay, so yeah, I think I got all the points I'm aware of for now. I'm sure you go through this and look even more. There's probably several more things to it. I suppose one thing I didn't look at is we looked at how it lined up with his MLB debut. Let me see how it lines up with his MLB conclusion. His last game in history was 9-9. How fitting. Baseball, the game of nines. 9 can represent completion. 9-9-73. 51 years ago, like he made his debut in 51. Again, Mars equals 51. Tuesday's named after Mars. Let's see. Today to September 9th. Look at that, you guys. I mean, come on, man. He's dead 83 days before the conclusion, the anniversary of the end of his career. Again, it's the 83rd day of the Giants season as they get their 38th loss. When murder equals 38 and 83. Hmm. 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 I'm looking at his most notable seasons. The most home runs he hit in a season was 52 in 65. That was 59 years ago now. Like the Say Hey Kid 59, like Slave Negro Blues Rasta. And again, he's connected to San Francisco on this, just like OJ. They just did OJ So Dirty 59 days after the Super Bowl. Out of curiosity, let's just measure to the Super Bowl just in case. Because the Super Bowl is on the 9th of February. That date can be written 92. That's like a Giants number. Again, 49ers are obviously a contender in the NFC, especially after the O.J. Simpson sacrifice. Again, a lot of times you look at the big game and you go back and remember the big deaths from the year before leading up. You're like, oh man, that sacrifice was for this too. It's a little bit early though. Usually the football sacrifices come a little bit later. The OJ thing though, they had to do that. God, look at that. It's exactly 63 weeks to the Super Bowl. I'm starting to Major League Baseball 63. Racism 63. I can't think of a 63 connection with New Orleans where the Super Bowl is. I can think of a 63 connection with OJ's other team, though, which is in New York. Because, again, the Giants went from New York to San Francisco. OJ played for the Bills and the Niners. Again, funny enough, the Bills are 7-6 against the Niners right now. 7-6 against the Niners as OJ dies at 76 when slave also equals 76, just like master. And again, they announced his death right as the masters were teeing off. And those verses in the Bible, Ephesians 6:5-9, slaves obey your masters. Hold on, what other teams did Willie Mays at the end of his career? Okay. He played his whole career with the MLB, with the New York Giants, and then they moved to San Francisco in 58. Giants, and then he finished with the Mets. Mets 70. He went to the Mets in 72. Mid-season, the Giants sent him from San Francisco back to New York, so send him back to where he started. Okay, 72 and 73 at the Mets. What'd the Mets do today? The Mets beat the Rangers 7-6. Maybe there's something about beating the Texas team since Juneteenth is so connected to Texas. It was the Mets' 72nd game of the year. Willie Mays went to the New York Mets in 72. The numbers in their record, though, well, the 7-6 score actually kind of stands out, doesn't it? Slave 76, I was just saying that. It was the Rangers' 73rd game of the year. He played for the Mets in 72-73. The Braves are playing the team from the 42nd parallel right now before they do this. Again, Hank Aaron's team. Hank Aaron and Willie both retired at 42. Detroit on the 42nd parallel. I told you guys not to doubt the Yankees today, man. The Yankees looked right today. It's sick how they do this, man. I hate how they get away with this every day, and I hate how there's not enough support in the world for the work. There really should be a GematriaEffectNews in every major city, funded by the people. Every last damn American should be pledging $1 a month to GematriaEffectNews. Should have a huge studio in a big city like San Francisco, By the way, the trolls from San Francisco who came out last year when I was out there, but turned out to just be some little weirdo agents. You guys should actually be out sharing this work right now in your city. That's what I'd be doing if I was there. I'd be out on the street waking people up like I was doing it last year about Bob Lee's death. Yeah. Earth to the San Francisco weirdos who came out and pretended like they were down for the work and who are now trolls. Again, realize what you're doing. By trolling me, you're essentially helping these. And I wonder about those trolls in San Francisco. That is where the Church of Satan's from. They seem like some Church of Satan types. But yeah, again, remember, when you attack this work, you're essentially just complicit with all these ritual murders. Something tells me someday there's going to be some ugly karma for you. So, shout out to John Mendoza, always generous with the dollar bills. Thank you again, John. I'm glad somebody supported it. $2 for the hour. We can pay the electricity bill. Thanks again, John. I do appreciate it. When people come here and write things like, what do you intend to do about it? Do you know what I've been doing? I've been working at this every single day for over a decade, sharing knowledge and truth. We pounded pavement all over the country. We've been trying to get people to wake up to shut down the tyranny. So when you ask me, what am I going to do about it? I've been doing it. Are you dumb, deaf, and blind? You think this is what I want to be doing at 9+ p.m. talking about Willie Mays' death? This isn't what I want to do with my life. I'm doing it because it needs to be known because nobody else is doing it. What are you doing to help me out? I'm just going to take a big guess that the answer is nothing. Sitting there asking stupid questions. That's what you're doing. February 9th. February 9th can be written 9/2 or 2/9, right? Either way, that date's 9/2 or 2/9. Oh, you weren't talking to me? Okay. Sorry. Well, I didn't go on YouTube for subscriptions and views. I went on YouTube because I knew it was a platform that's on almost everybody's TV and phone, and pretty much everyone has access to across the world. And in 2013, when I figured this out, I realized it was super important and everyone needed to know about it. But what I also knew way before 2013, before I knew Gematria, is that our society is profoundly sick and apathetic and doesn't care about the right things and doesn't ask questions and is easily led astray and just believes the talking heads on TV and follow lies religiously. And sadly, that seems to be the way of the world for most people. Just totally apathetic to truth, so easily swayed by authority and the biggest of the biggest lies. And again, obviously, very little critical thinking, because if you had any critical thinking skills, you wouldn't be going to sports games because they're so obviously rigged. It's obvious that most people who go to these games never played the games because they don't know how to play the games, because if they did, they'd see what's wrong with the pro level, where a lot of these guys don't even belong on the field. Can't catch a little simple pass, can't field a little simple ground ball, can't catch a can of corn pop-up in the most important moment. Do you guys remember the way the 111th World Series began? A routine fly ball to the outfielder, and then not only could he not catch it, then he couldn't pick it up, and it started off with an in-the-park home run. It's like, oh, wow, this guy made it to the World Series, huh? I've seen better T-ballers. Come on, man. This is where... Anyway. Luka Doncic. Like, you're turning on to ESPN. They don't even show you highlights anymore. They got these idiots talking in suits about how Luka Doncic could be the best player in the NBA. It's like, no. In fact, if the NBA wasn't rigged, I'm pretty sure he'd never. And like, I'm serious. If Luka Doncic and I played 1-on-1, and carrying was enforced, I'd win the game because he can't even move the ball without carrying. He literally can't even dribble a basketball. So he's not a basketball player because he can't even dribble. Yet they're trying to make the guy a star. It's pathetic. It's like, okay, can we at least get a guy that knows how to dribble a basketball? All this guy knows how to do is tuck the ball way back here and put his hand under the ball and start moving with it. It's just like, God, it's just, who's paying for this crap? I saw a guy in public out here wearing a Luka Doncic jersey. I was like, how big of a loser is that guy? Who'd ever buy this guy's jersey? Oh my God. At least get a player who knows how to dribble a basketball, please. Yeah, and I always see the trolls trying to question my athleticism. That maybe that's the way to fund a movement. We'll play one-on-one on basketball courts. I haven't even shot at basketball for 10 years. I know I can go out there and still smoke you day one. You guys think I'm good at gematria? I used to be a very good athlete as a younger person. And again, I stayed playing sports until just right before my 30th birthday when I busted my shoulder, which is kind of was a changing life moment for me. And shortly after, I got back into reading more. And next thing you know, I found a little gematria. And then everything just started to make way more sense. So anyway. Yeah, exactly. Luka, too. He's like fat, sloppy body, slow as a slug. And these idiots on ESPN are trying to tell you he could be the best player in the league. He could be the greatest player of all time. That should just tell you how bullshit the league is. It's like Tom Brady, too, man. I mean, Tom Brady would have never even been in the NFL if the NFL's real. He's so slow. His body, Tom Brady's body, how slow he was, no agility, almost no athleticism. Sure, he can throw the ball to a spot, but so can a lot of people. Oh, my God, pro sports, man. They give me an ulcer every time I have to talk about them. Yeah, Orioles trumped in New York. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, good eyes as always, Gio. Yeah, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was more believable than some of these other people, but you know, I never looked at Tim Tebow and said, "Oh, he seems completely unathletic like Tom Brady or even Luka." Luka falling on his ass at the end of the game last night. That's probably the best Luka highlight of all time. That's the real highlight that sums up who Luka Doncic is. Guy just falling on his ass in the middle of the court. Game over. Tim Tebow's John 3:16 ritual. People don't think the games are scripted. It was Jesus. It was Jesus that did it. Oh, man. See, that's the thing. When you purposely cultivate a society of morons, which is what the cabal's done, you know, they've done it with religion and news and the indoctrination system that's called the education system. They've purposely raised just a flock of sheep. And, you know, they're having a field day just making fun of this society they've created. Society of just brain dead lemmings everywhere. Here's a veteran. He says, "Hey, Zach, I've been watching since 2016 when Cavs won the chip. I haven't watched your vids in a long time. I tuned in since I'm from Dallas. Once Bill Walton was dead, I knew Boston was winning." Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I mean, how many people went to the game? It's so sick to show up at these games the way they sacrifice the players. I mean, how dumb are the Boston people? It's like, what, you just think all these things are a coincidence? Jerry West dead at 86 when Boston won the finals in 86 over a Texas team. It's just, and again, let's not forget they came into the series 46-40 versus the Mavericks, did the Celtics, 86 games played, finals coin in 86, the year they did Len Bias dirty. Somebody says, "Why am I such a hater?" Oh, am I a hater? I don't feel like I'm a hater. I feel like I got lots of haters. I'm someone who speaks facts about society. What I'm saying isn't hate; it's true. I mean, society is inept. I mean, take a look at society. I had to go out to the grocery store today. I mean, like 80% of the people my eyes saw were just in disbelief. It's always like that when I go outside. I'm like, how did everybody get so fat? How's everybody so fat? And then these fat people with these grocery carts full of cookies and ding dongs and soda. It's like who are these people? Do these people have mirrors in their house? These are you guys. Listen, what I'm saying isn't hate. It's true. Why do you think the Illuminati rules over society? Do you think an intelligent group of people would ever want a society of dum-dums, like having control or a say in anything? Here, let's leave it up to the dum-dums to vote. I mean, come on, man. Let's just like, I'm sorry, guys. It's not hate, it's truth. The only reason that this isn't the number one channel on YouTube getting a billion views a day, because it should be. I mean, imagine if this channel was getting a billion views a day, the world would be changing in a much better way. But the reason it doesn't is because it's like what I just said. It's like a society of just like inept people. They don't even care about their own bodies. It's just they don't know anything about anything, even how to take care of themselves. It's gross. And then they want a handout. They're like, well, the government will pay for my. It's just no. Sorry, I'm not being a hater. I'm just telling you the way it is. You know, low functioning society, easily played for fools, going along with the charades. It's a sad joke. And I hope one day my words and rhetoric help elevate the bar and help people look in the mirror and say, oh my God, he's talking about somebody like me. I need to fix myself. I'm guessing that guy who's crying here about what a hater I am, he's probably about 100 pounds overweight. He's probably got some donuts right here on his side over here and a soda over here. I see you. I'm trying to help you out, Chubbs. That's what I'm trying to do. It's called tough love. Yeah, so anyway, to the 5-foot-tall Chinese Rasta in San Francisco who came out last year and who's become a troll, why don't you park your ass down at the baseball stadium and drop some facts instead of trolling my channel now? Makes me sad. Yeah, you know what I think happened to that guy, you guys? I think the chat, you guys sometimes are too mean. When you guys saw what he looked like in San Francisco, I saw what you guys were writing in the chat. Everyone was like, how come he talks like a Rasta? What is he, like a 4'10" Chinese guy? I was like, I didn't know what he looked like either. I'd never met him before either, but he did try to do the whole Rasta vibe over the phone, and then you meet him and you're like, wait a minute. What? I've never seen a Rasta that's a 4'10" Chinaman. So anyway, you guys might have scorned him in the community, but you turned him into a troll. And anyway, he does ride with the pack of trolls, so it might have been more than that. But yeah, again, I saw him last night saying, yeah, Gematria doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just more, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter? Show me anything more that matters in terms of exposing the evil of this world and who's doing it, you know? And why are you a fake Rasta in the chat room of a guy who spends 50% of his live streams talking about how much he hates weed? Who put all these agents and trolls together? They don't make any sense. Oh, these people, man. These trash human beings. Mojave Pocahontas, just another troll loser. How do you always end up in my chat just leaving your dumb comments? Get a life, Mojave Pocahontas. God, I hate when I see these idiots come out of the woodwork. If you don't like the channel and you haven't liked it for years, just stay gone. Yeah, for all of you guys who don't like me, you know, again, like I've told you a million times before, the only people who don't like me are fucking losers. So know that about yourself too. That's also a fact. The only people who don't like the hardest working man in the world at truth and who exposed the biggest secret there ever was of the cabal in spades, to not like that person, you have to be a fucking loser. And again, most people are fucking losers. And I've known this since I was a young age. I've known it very well. How inept people are, how incapable they are. It's like lacking up here, lacking the physical. It's sad. It's sad. And it's because a lot of people have never applied themselves and they've just been lazy their whole lives and they spent way too much time sitting on their ass watching screens. I didn't do much of that at all as a child. I spent my youth working my ass off to improve myself. So trust me, I wasn't born from superior genetics. Far from it. Hard work. That's what most people have never done in their life. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. And until next time, True Seeker.